Hi everyone, today I'm gonna add an additional SSD hard drive to my iMac 2010, mid-2010 iMac. And I looked online on all the videos and it seems pretty complicated, but I've done something similar when my kid broke my iPad and I had to replace the glass. I took it apart and fixed everything, so hopefully should be a little bit easier. This is what I have right now. I bought a Samsung SSD 850 500 gigabyte Evo SSD drive. I searched online, pretty decent price, about $160. Used to be like double the price, and prices will go down every 18 months. I bought this at OCW. This is like a added, like a basically a Y splitter between the old hard drive and new hard drive. And then this is like I think an internal fan detection wire. Some gloves. Just as important, torque wrenches. So you can like unscrew all the torque screws. Some of the stuff that I bought from the iPad stuff. This is like sticky stuff that you need to stick against the wall right next to the existing hard drive. Microfiber cloth because my iMac is very dusty. And we're just gonna take it apart. Oh, and there's a suction cup I need to go get. And I have basically the video from OCW and how to replace the hard drive. This is the other thing I didn't show you. Basically, it's a suction cup to pull the screen out. The screen's stuck to the iMac through magnets. Other places you can buy online with two suction cups. You can do it on each corner and pull it off. But you know, before these videos came out, I actually did take it out to look at things inside for to replace the RAM, I believe. So, but anyways, this is what it looks like. You just clap it on and it'll pull off. So here I'm just gonna put it right here in the middle. Lock it, pull it like a magnet. So it looks like you should put it somewhere it doesn't collect dust. So to put it on gloves, next step is to take out 8 T10 torque screws, and they're like these basically kind of like a what is this, hexagon shape tool. You can buy this at Home Depot or online. There's 4 on the right, 4 on the left, and you might want to use tweezers if you want, but I've already taken 2 out, so I'm just gonna unscrew them. And usually the magnet, let's see how it just kind of hangs on, so I don't really need to do that. And then there's a 4th one here. I think they're all the same size. Let me double check. Other videos, I think later on the 2011 models, they have different sizes. So these are the same size, I believe. Yeah, they're the same size. You can do it on this side as well. Be careful not to touch the LCD, because once you have fingerprints on it, it's really hard to take it off. I'm wearing gloves because your hand has a lot of oils, dirt. If you wash it, you're gonna might on accident touch this LCD screen. Okay, last screw. Done. So this is pretty tough. I already taken off the top wire. There's another wire, LCD wire, that you use first of all, use your hand to kind of like take off the tape. It was unexpected because other videos didn't show that. And then now, in order to take it off, you have to squeeze both sides and just kind of pull it off. So I'm gonna try to do that. again, be careful. This thing swivels. You don't want it to swivel down too much. So I see the clip. There's two buttons, so you kind of have to use your hand to do that, to unclip it. I'm trying to figure out what the best way to do this. Kind of feel my way. Okay. Yeah, there you go. With that, there's still two more wires. Oh man, this thing's tilting. See, this is, you see that's kind of tilting toward away from the thing, and looks like it's gonna slip out. So, the other one's a small one I see. I'm gonna unclip that one gently. Okay. And the last one, you're supposed to like pull downward. You're supposed to like push and clip it downward. Let's see. I see. It's like a locking mechanism. You put on the top of it, you push, and then you just pull down. It's kind of hard because I'm holding this LCD screen in one hand. Okay, got it. So now I'm able to take this whole thing off gently. There you go. You see that? It's like 4 wires. You can put it somewhere so it doesn't collect dust. They said that you can use the original bag, but I don't really have my original bag. So, this is what the inside looks like. So we're trying to, this is the original hard drive. We're going to try to put the other hard drive right next to it in this area per the instructions. This is the CD drive. And I think you have to take out a lot of these screws, and this is where you have to track which screw you're going to take off. I can replace using this one, but that would mean I have an extra hard drive, but I don't know what to do with it. So I want to just kind of just put it all together and see how that goes. The next step is to remove all the RAM underneath. So see, I had 2 torque sets, and this one happened to have the screwdriver that the other one didn't. And so you just kind of unscrew it. Just unscrew it. It's not a torque, it's just, you can use a screwdriver here. The lid's coming off. Just gently take it off. Okay. Gently set it aside. And then just like these plastic tabs that you can like, kind of dusty, so you can pull. Let's use some tweezers. See that? Take the tab out. And just pull. There you go. So come out. Kind of lay in the same position so you know you can put it back the same way. Shouldn't matter, but just want to preserve what it had before. So then I know there's one on top, there's one on bottom. Pull this out. Oh. On top. Okay. So that's done. So next we're gonna take out the logic board. The video says there's 8 screws. There's one here, 1, 2, one behind the audio cable, 3, kind of work our way right to left. So 1, 2, 3, 4, right next to the fan. We're in the middle of 5, below here 6, and then I believe there's one right here. There's an arrow actually telling you 7, and last one's here, it's 8. The logic board, no one tells you this, is like, it goes like this. It's kind of weird shape. It goes right here, and then here, and extends all the way top there. So that's why you're trying to take this like, kind of like an L shape here, another L shape here, another L shape here. Just take this thing all the way off. But before you do that, you need to be careful because there's still some wires here. You can see one right here that's screwed on. There's one that's down here as well, and they explain what it is. I don't care what it is, I just want to make sure I don't screw this up. So I'm just gonna try to do that. Oh, and also the size of the screws are different, so you have to be careful to put them back in the proper order. So, and these are T10 again. See, it's nice. I have a T10 screw. So here, start from the top. It's right above the optical drive. Take your time. You don't want to screw up. Okay, so top. There's one on the bottom right here. And remember, keep my 8 screws. Oh, this is obvious. This is a long one right here. See, they don't show you this. The long one is at the bottom. So I'll remember it's at the bottom. Long one there. This thing kind of carefully. So you don't want to rip this cord off too much, right? So I think you can take it off probably. Kind of want to take it off because, yeah. See, I'm gonna take it off because I don't want to like move it over and then start ripping the ribbon cable. So it's very easy to take off. So then I lift the whole thing up. It's much easier to take off the screw than to screw it up. I bet this is a long one too. Yep, another long one as well. Put these, they're the same size, so kind of easy. Again, start from the top right, work your way down. I have 3, I have 5 more to go. Right next to the fan, there's one. They mentioned I'm wearing a headlamp, so that helps a lot too. Same size. Actually, are they longer? Oh, this is actually longer. So it's actually a little bit longer. The one next to the fan. Okay, so you need to make sure that you keep track. So 2 medium length at the bottom. Then it starts off. So I kind of diagrammed the same way. Put the screw the same position as I go along. So small, 2 mediums, and a long in the middle. Let's see if this is a long one. And that's already 4 right there. Another long one. Yep. Then we have another one here. I believe it's this one. Yeah. You can tell because the logic board kind of has to be screwed against the chassis of the place. This is also a long one. And then again, there's an arrow here that tells you probably this is the one you want to take off. Another, I think this is a long one. And then finally, there's one right here on the left hand side. This is a tiny, very tiny one. So a little bit complicated. You have to kind of know the size, but it's okay. You just make sure you do it methodically. Okay. So we took all the screws. There's another cable here that they said that you have to take off the. There's basically some tape here that you need to make sure that you take off. So I need to use some tweezers here. It's pretty stuck on pretty well, so it's kind of hard for me to use my fingernails. Anyways, just use the tweezers. You want to keep the tape because you want to reuse what you have. And hopefully this is the last time you need to really take it apart like this, because this is a pretty advanced way to replace or add a hard drive. Okay, so I got the tape off. And then it says you can just use your fingers to grab the thing off. Use 2 fingers. Okay. Let's tape it out of the way, they said. Okay. So now this whole logic board should be able to take it out. Again, there's something else here that's blocking it, so you have to be careful. The videos didn't show this at all either. So there's something else here that you need to kind of unscrew. What's the best way to do this one? They're both taped on both sides. Again, you tug it out, you'll damage it and you won't have a working iMac anymore. Everything you have to do in patience. When in doubt, take a step back. So taking this off, tape, don't want to fold it. No, it's just like a same thing as like an iPad thing. So I'm taking it off here, putting it on the side. Just kind of put the tape gently back because I want to reuse it later. Just kind of look around to see. There's some other wires all connected. So look, so I can lift this up a little bit. Let's see if I can lift the rest up. Yeah, there's actually a lot of wires connected here. So it's not really something I really want to be able to pull out per se. This wire's here. Yeah, it's not really something you want to do. But the purpose of this is that we need to basically connect this wire, SATA cable, behind it somewhere, and then connect it to the secondary hard drive, the SSD drive. And then another reason I'm not replacing this original one is there's some kind of sensor wire that you need to have for the newer hard drives that has them compatible. But I'd rather just put it on the side here and have it work there. And then there's like a splitter cable between this and this to share the power. There's actually a 9th Torx screw here that you need to take off, because if you look at the frame and how it's screwed inside, you need to really take this one off because you're trying to get to a spot where you can connect this SATA port right behind this area. And it's hard because there's all these wires that are connected, but you just have to be careful on how to do it. But I'm assuming all these wires are connected on the backside, should be okay, but you have to be careful as you lift it. So I'm gonna do that now and then see what else I need to take off. It's another small one. Again, keep your screws in place. This thing's kind of weird. There's another one that's connected, but a longer one. And it's like this bar that kind of connects two together. I don't know what they do, if they did this on purpose. So it looks like it's kind of weird. And so now it's not. Now this is loose. I can lift it up and stuff like that. So I'm gonna see what I can do. So I ran into like a huge problem, but I took pictures and I'm pretty confident I can put it back together. But there's all these connectors all on the top that you need to pull out. One for temperature, hard drive temperature, camera. All these need, to me, I think they have to be taken out because in order to get behind it, you need to put this wire there. You can try to like pull it out a little bit and try to shove it in there, but you have to be careful. You're gonna rip all these wires, and any wire that you rip up, you're not gonna have a working iMac anymore. So there's also these wires here. I kind of labeled some, well, I colored it on the bottom, but I just took pictures and pretty much all the connectors are unique. So it's not something that you can just like stick together that might not be the same match just to get behind there. And this is probably the most complicated part in doing so. It might deter some people from doing this, but I'm confident and hopefully I can get everything back in shape, back in order. So it's definitely not as easy as it sounds in the videos. There's a whole bunch of wires still I had to pull out here, all across here, and all across there. Thank goodness if you look closely, I don't know if you can see it, but the inserts for each of these are very unique, so I hope I can put them back together. And you can't really pull out the whole logic board out because it's still connected on the back side, and I didn't want to pull everything out. And so that's where you're supposed to connect it. There's another SATA cable right here. It's kind of hard to see. Let's see if we can adjust it. Yeah, we have a light. So there's one right here that's from the original hard drive, and then the new one. I was gonna switch it because it's easier to do that, but this might be the primary hard drive that uses the fan. So I mean, I didn't want to switch just in case there's some issues with that, but so I just put it as a secondary one. So I'm gonna route it through here and then put my hard drive right there. But it was very hard, and I'm still in the middle of doing things, and hopefully I can put it back together. And nothing that you can't really pull it out is behind here is all the 6 USB ports that you have to align it. Later on, you have to make sure it's aligned properly as well. So a lot of work ahead of me. So basically, this is the power cable, white splitter. This is gonna go into the hard drive, and this one's gonna go here. So I'd rather just kind of put it on the wires first so that I don't have to put it on while I place it, but we'll see how that works. I think this is probably to here. Okay. It's there. And then I can actually, well, let's put it here. Okay. To be careful because there's a wire here. You kind of have to make sure it goes in. more space if I take it out. I'm gonna put it right next to the hard drive, so original hard drive, so there's more space. Okay, that looks good. I didn't use the tape because I think all the wires are gonna put it in place, and there's nothing really much to tape against. So just gonna adjust the room in there. Make sure that it's fine. Let's see. Red wire is actually very long. Okay, so I think these wires are fine. I mean, just to zoom in a little bit for you. I mean, all the wires kind of stuffed in there, and it's gonna keep the hard drive in place. And it's kind of hard. There's also wire behind there, and you can't really tape it. So as long as the connectors are fine, it's pretty much, you can't even move it. See, look at this. I was moving a little bit. And it's just gonna sit on your table. You're not gonna move it around too much, so you shouldn't worry too much about it. So now it's just a matter of trying to get everything back in place. This wire thing is pretty big too, so I'll find a place to kind of store it. Yeah. Okay, and I got free space there. And now I'm going to try to put it back together. So here's a logical board. I kind of finagled the wires on top. I think it's going to fit properly. Make sure all the screws are flushed. There's like 9 screws against the wall. And then make sure that all the wires are pulled out. And then right behind, put some USB port devices to make sure it's aligned properly as you screw back in. So that's what we're going to do next. Okay, so I connected all the wires, and I was kind of freaking out because I am missing an LCD temperature. I know it's hard to see, but there's an LCD temperature outlet that I'm freaking out. I don't know where it is. Maybe it's hidden behind or everything like that, or somewhere, right? So I lost, and didn't want to put it back together if I didn't know where to find it. But I realized, well, where's LCD? Well, it's on the LCD itself. Remember, there's 4 wires that we disconnected, and so that's where it's going to go when we put it back to LCD. So with that in mind, I can start reverse screwing all the screws. I did 2 already here. That's the new ones I was talking about earlier. And go from here and just kind of work my way down, up here, down here, and go up, and just screw everything back in. So it should be good to go. So I screwed all the 9 screws in reverse order and kept track of everything. You'll know if it's a long screw, if you misplaced it, it won't be flushed again, it won't screw in. So I got kind of confused at the end when I screwed all these last 2 screws in, and there was this one area here that looked like it needed a long screw, but actually it's just a small screw. Other things to note, this wire right here, it doesn't insert, it just pushes on top onto it, and then you put the tape over it. While this wire right here, remember the one that I took out so that there's a screw behind it, it just slides and inserts there. So almost done. So the next step is just to put the LCD back. There's 4 points of wires. Remember, there's the LCD temperature sensor, and once I do that, I can put the screen on, and then we should be good to go. This is kind of a hard part because this whole stand pivots, and someone said that they had a hard time because it's now like vertical and you can't put it at an angle. So I think it's okay. Just be very careful and then make sure that you put all the 4 wires in place and do it methodically and carefully. So here is my LCD. I'm gonna try to do it while you kind of look at it. So see, as you put the weight on, it's gonna pivot down. There's 4 wires. First one's right here in our lower right. You just kind of clip it in. Let's see if we can do it. I see. Nope. Okay, that's 1 wire. Let me see the other ones. This is the LCD one, the LCD temperature one. Let's see if we can put this in. Let's do it gently, don't want to shove it in too hard. Okay, that's 1, 2. Third wire's on top. This one's gonna be this wire right here. This is the one that make sure that it's kind of like a clip thing. If you hear the clip on each side, it's good. And this last one is somewhere that I need to search for. It's a, so you can tell by, it's a 4 insert. So it's starting to screw in on the 4 corners. You have to be very careful because if you drop the screw, it's hard to get. So I forgot that I need to put the memory back in. So hopefully that's okay. And I have it in such a way that I know that what goes on top and what goes on bottom. So let's see if I can put it back into the slots properly. Just click back in each one. Yeah, good. I'm pretty confident it was gonna go back in because the screws were flushed, aligned properly. One thing, you don't want to screw while it's vertical, because if you screw on vertical, gravity is going to pull those screws and drop into the corners, and it's really hard to get. So you kind of have to hold the whole thing left and right to get it out. So I just did very carefully, and then on the corners, there's magnets. So as you put the screw in, it's going to suck it up. So you kind of go away from the magnet on an angle and just kind of go to the hole slowly and just kind of screw it in that way. If you don't do it that way, you're gonna have headaches. The screws in behind the screen, and you need to disconnect those 4 connectors that we did earlier, and that's gonna be a headache for anyone. So still putting back the RAM. Make sure it's flush against the wall. And then the last one. Yeah. Okay. Just inside, in between the RAM. Okay. Have a screw here. Okay, good. And the way I'm screwing in is like what you typically do in like cars. Like screwing in, if you have all these screws around the circle, you do alternate, like top left, bottom right, and then go across. Just crisscross all around so that the screws can just adjust the overall panel properly against the chassis. That's always a common technique across everything, so I'm doing that. So I screwed in all the screws again, alternating back and forth. The one again, you have to be careful about the magnets here and here, because they suck it up and it might drop down. So you lay it flat, and I was able to screw them all in, so everything's fine. So next step is to put the LCD screen on, or the screen itself. So the suction cup's still there. These are just magnets. Kind of go into the. So it was a success because when I booted off the USB, it basically recognized the Samsung 500GB SSD drive, and I'm gonna format it now, and I should be good to go. Thanks for watching.